Old people, what is a fact young people should know before it's too late? The difference between a head full of memories and a head full of regret is your ability to forgive yourself. A head full of stress can also hamper your ability to keep memories, or at least that's what I've experienced. Can't believe how fast time is flying as you get older, and stress coupled with the same daily routine makes it seem like your days are just flying by at a rate of knots. I mean, this year felt like a few months at most to me. Learn to say no more. Be polite and respectful in how you say it, but be clear. Spreading yourself too thin mentally and emotionally will burn you out and ruin relationships, education and career opportunities. Go slow to go fast. I'm glad my parents taught me this. So many people are afraid to say no, and it honestly angers me. As I have gotten older, I have noticed there's unfortunate reality among human group dynamics. It's kind of the inverse of the squeaky wheel gets the grease. In moments of conflict or disagreement when tensions can escalate, the reasonable, rational, fair-minded people are often pressured by the group to go along, be supportive and cooperate, because it's easier to get them to than get the spoiled child, the narcissist, the hothead, the bully, the loose cannon to compromise or not cause problems. The human herd, whether it be in the form of a social circle, a family, an office culture, etc., realizes this, perhaps subconsciously, ghastly, and thus often the group puts the social peer pressure onto the reasonable individuals to just get along, instead of fighting the unreasonable person, and thus risk confrontation and possibly being a target themselves. Else, time goes so damn fast and lots of people that you love die. Enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, forever is when you're like 15 to 23. Then suddenly you hit 25 and you start rushing, realizing life is short. Then 30 hits and lol, forget it. Too late. 30s have been a slap in the face. I now understand why grown-ups were always grunting when they had to stand up. What seems like a big deal now isn't, no matter your age. When you're 33, you're not gonna give a shit about your unrequited crush. Though your 15-year-old mind can't fathom it. When you're 50, you won't give a shit about costing your company an important client. Though your 33-year-old mind thinks you've permanently destroyed your career. When you're 70, it won't matter that the house you bought at 50 wasn't the good investment you'd hoped, and so on. Don't stress yourself out, because most of today's earth-shattering events are tomorrow's inconsequential bullshit. Most. Not all. Sometimes all it takes is one drink, one punch, one overdose, one fuck up to earn permanent consequences. Then it's your career, your life, the lives around you. Not quite old, but most of my regrets were caused by my inactions, not by my actions. I'm only in my 20s, but I already regret so many things I didn't do. I'm in my 30s, and I regret a lot of things I did because I thought I might regret not doing them. Just be true to who you are and want to be. That's when I really started living. Time moves forward, regardless of things that have happened. You are not guaranteed anything, including a chance to make amends with people that you have wronged, or to forgive people that have wronged you. If you have something you need to say to someone, then just say it. Don't assume that you'll have a chance to do it later, whether it's tomorrow or a year from now, cause when that person is gone, they're gone. Talking with that person will give closure, whether good or bad, but talking to their headstone only leaves you wondering. I've been doing that more and more lately, and I have lost some friends because of it, but I'm trying not to dwell on it. I have to keep moving forward, and I'll get more opportunities to meet new people. Really good advice, that one. Buy a plunger before you need a plunger. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Someone told me this years ago, and it's stuck with me since. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. How can I measure this and know I've made progress? How would I know if I was better than yesterday or not? Be mindful of the things you are doing or feeling on a daily basis, and if you're doing something new and which is slightly challenging for you, write it or journal it. Look back at this journal a year from now and you'll see the difference. Journaling helps keep track of progress. Your music is probably too loud. We're hearing protection. What? Chocolate? Exclamation mark. Don't take advice from people you don't want to be. Ha. Take that, mom. But Billy, I only want what's best for you. Exercising is not optional. Edit. Thank you for the silver award. Kind Redditor. Edit 2. Thank you for the hugs award. Kind Redditor. Move it or lose it. More like, move it and lose it. Never take a risk where the downside is that you lose everything. Sadly, been there, done that, twice. Before I was 30. Clawing back out of that pit isn't pretty. Your parents are people. They are imperfect. They make mistakes. And they don't know everything. My son looks at me like I'm Superman. But I'm only one bad decision away from indigestion. Indigestion is your nemesis. I thought it was kryptonite. Do not post comments on internet discussions boards. You do not have anonymity. Good advice, Neil. Nice one, Ross. Time isn't moving as slowly as you think. Gosh, I'm 17 and I feel like everything is moving too fast. Even though I'm still in high school, it already feels like a distant past that I briefly mentioned stories about. I was talking with a friend the other day and somehow got onto the topic of kids' movies release dates. Can you believe Frozen came out in 2013? Exclamation mark. I saw it in theaters, but I thought that was like 2 years ago. If this is considered slow now, I cannot fathom how time would feel like when I'm old. My FB friends are almost entirely people I haven't seen since I was 17, 34 years ago. It's fun to recall those old stories and fill in memories that are no longer 100% accurate. But yes, realizing that those events were more and more decades ago is a little hard. Just make sure you live in a way that allows you to have a lot of cool stories to tell. Your life narrative essentially defines your experience of life and provides a lot of meaning. Spend your life living and not merely existing, especially when you are young and unencumbered and able to do more physically. Be curious and explore. I totally agree. I wish to do that RN, but my life's full of crap. If I ever make it out of this, I would do load of traveling and exploring. You could always try doing something creative like drawing or writing, wherever you want to be, as long as you are limited. You're being lied to much more than you are aware of. Always pee after sex. Take chances. Live your ducking life, but take no shit. Thank you. I think that we should not be fearful of anything, but instead be cautious and careful. Fear is healthy. Letting that fear choose every choice though is not. You need to learn how to be healthy, financially secure, not necessarily rich, and get along with people. Everything else is optional, and sadly they don't teach any of those in school, so get a book. Laugh synchronically ill. I've been laughing like that since I was 13, so youth wasn't even wasted on me. Credit cards are not free money! Exclamation mark. Credit cards aren't a loan neither. Don't ever buy anything with a card that you don't already have 100% of the money on hand to pay it off the very minute the bill comes. Credit cards are for convenience, buying fuel, and online purchases, and not having to carry cash if you need to make a major purchase and you don't have the cash now, but you have a very reliable plan to pay it off. Explore lower cost options. Will the retailer offer no or very low interest financing on the purchase if you make minimum payments? Make the payments without fail. Can you borrow from a life insurance policy or from a small home equity loan? Talk to your bank. There are always better options than using a credit card. I learned this the hard way. It took nearly a decade to repair my credit. Please don't use the cards. Doesn't matter. You won't listen anyway. Spoken like a true parent. Take care of your body. Invest early. Don't hang around PR that make you feel except you too will grow old and die. I.e., if you are lucky, guy, make your day count. If you're unlucky, you grow young and never die. Save like a madman. In general, live beneath your means. Whatever those means are. There's a big difference between being able to buy something and being able to afford it. This is one of the biggest lessons I tried to teach my friends, but they just never got it. They would buy a new console, TV, etc. on day one and wonder why they were struggling for food, rent, and car payments later in the month. It was constant. If they had the same bills and income, but were just smart about their purchases and saving, they could have been living quite comfortably instead of scraping by and buying luxury items as soon as they could. Just because everyone else is wanging chun tonight doesn't mean you should feel compelled to also wang chun. Nonsense. Everybody needs to wang chun tonight. Just, for the love of God, do not chung your wang. Very painful. Learn to know when you have enough. Wear sunscreen. As an Aussie, duck eyes. As an Aussie ginger, double duck eyes. There's almost nothing in this world you need to give a shit about. Do be kind. Do be considerate. Do be generous, please. Be compassionate. But your actual obligations in this world are nearly nil. And the number of people whose opinion you should value or give the slightest damn about is also close to nil. So go on. Fly your freak flag. And be excellent to one another. When I realized that most of my problems were only so because someone else said they were, my life got much more enjoyable. Same. Suddenly so much of my stress was non-existent when I realized my problems were actually not problems. Life will take a giant shit on you at some point. Be prepared for it as best you can. Don't put all your energy and identity into just one area of life: job, relationship, family, friends, sport, etc. Keep a balance between them. Then when one part of your life turns to shit for a while, you still have all the other bits to keep you sane. Every birthday you'll feel old. Remember, you're not. When you're actually old, you'll literally feel it. Wrinkles. Love is not a feeling. It's not a lightning bolt. It's a choice you make. Every day you wake up, and you need to choose to love the person next to you. The feeling will fade, but if you choose to love them anyway, you will find the secret to long and successful relationships. I'd like to add that choosing to love someone is a very active decision, and you do it through intentional acts of love and service. And this applies to all relationships, not just romantic ones. Close bracket. Make sure you stretch daily to keep your joints healthy and flexible. Politics in America have been messy from day one. Calm down, the anxiety is going to kill you. Do not assume jaded cynicism as wisdom. Do not assume hope as foolishness. Never give up on working for a better world. And most of all, never let perfect be the enemy of good. Life is too ducking short. Don't waste all the fucks you have to give too early on. If you save money today, money will save you tomorrow. Take up a hobby or two. It can be very rewarding. It will give you something to look forward to while you are drudging away at work. And it is easier to make friends with people when you have shared interests. Even the shortest conversations are either building a bridge or burning a bridge. You may not realize the conversations mattered until much later. There are certain people who you will never ever win over, but be very deliberate not to damage things or escalate unless the situation really matters. Girls need to engage in high impact exercise, track, soccer, etc. when they're in their pre/early teens for bone health. A few years of regular high impact exercise during ages 10 to 14 will prevent onset of osteoporosis for decades. Starting later won't have the same effect, so please don't put it off. Plus, it is important to build the exercise habit early because it's much harder to add habits later in life. I focused on academics in my youth and I really regret not spending more time on exercise. And now it's too late for many of the benefits. Thanks for this. Bone health and strength training for women is so important and so rarely talked about. Eventually you become irrelevant. Try to not give a duck about people's opinions, but give a duck about the important stuff of life instead. Not old, but have been told to look after my beautiful teeth and maintain good dental hygiene. This only 24 and scheduling to have all my teeth pulled at the start of the new year. It's never too late. No person is important enough to keep in your life if they take away from the morals you live by, family included. Cut them out of your life and move on to a better place. Loud music really will damage your hearing. You'll spend your life guessing what people are talking about. Wearing earplugs, whatever the quality, will make the music sound clearer. Yeah, you read that right. It sounds better with the foam earplugs in. Was just talking about this. If you are young and obese, You may feel assured that the doctor tells you you're in good health, but it doesn't take long for that to deteriorate. As you age, fat will start to grow around your organs, and things like hypertension and diabetes can start to rear their ugly head. Not to mention what carrying 100 or so extra pounds for years on end can do to your joints. And I'm not talking in 30+ years. This all can happen in less than a decade. It's also shocking the list of conditions you can experience. A lot of different cancers. Dropping the weight now will be easier at a younger age and will lead way for a healthier life. 1. The best advice will never sound profound. 2. If I say, eat your Vegas, you'll think, I know that. You don't. To know something is to deeply internalize it and do it automatically, like driving safely. You'll need to truly know this. 3. Life is basically a series of choices, usually the harder and the easier choice. Your only chance of coming out ahead is to reflexively choose the harder option. That's it. I hope one of you can take something from this. Be careful with 3 though. The harder choice isn't always the best. Work smarter, not harder, and all. How fast it all goes by. Boom, you are 50. Don't wait to do stuff. Do it as you want to do. Not start smoking ever. Almost everything about how we live our lives is shit we came up with to try to cope with living in this universe that doesn't care if we live or die. The good thing about that is that it means that if we learn something new about how the universe actually works, through like scientific study and shit like that, we can incorporate that knowledge to change how we do things in a better way. So if someone tells you that it's just the way it is, that's bullshit. It's only that way cause we made it that way, and we can just as easily change that if we want to. This applies to almost everything out there. Challenge that shit. Ask them why. Better yet, if you've got an idea about something and people don't think it's good, ask why not. Apostrophe. Relationship is more important than being right. You're right. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.